If you're a Pokemon collector, then you've probably never been happier than this moment in time. There's never been a better time to be a Pokemon collector because pretty much every single vintage Pokemon product has been on the up and up over the last couple of weeks. I almost can't keep up with how fast prices are rising, but that kind of begs the question, if are we currently in a Pokemon bubble right now? Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Jake here, and we have some huge news in terms of Pokemon collectibles. So I wanted to give you guys the latest scoop as well as keep you in the loop. And of course, I wanted to share with you guys my current thought on some Pokemon card prices. First bit of news is that the PokemonCenter.com, the website in the United States, just recently released a new premium collectible, a $2,000 blue crystallized Pikachu by contemporary artist Daniel Arsham. The limited edition quantity of this sculpture was 500. There are 500 sculptures, $2,000 each. I personally saw it and I just couldn't justify paying $2,000 for a decent sized sculpture of Pikachu that is blue with some crystals hanging out of it. It's right up there with Daniel Arsham's other work. It's definitely his style and it's definitely one of his pieces. I'm not familiar with Daniel Arsham, but apparently super popular, highly collectible, because as soon as those 500 statues went on sale, they were gone within under a minute. That's right, they were completely sold out within a minute. Over 500 people bought a $2,000 Pikachu statue right away. That just shows you how strong the hobby is right now, when any new collectible is just scooped right out of the market so quickly. And these statues, you could probably find them on eBay selling for anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 right now. And they are selling at those prices, so people do want this piece. And I could definitely see the reason now. Personally, it's not for me. I don't have a use for a $2,000 statue of Pikachu. But if you're a high-end collector, if you got a nice, decent manor or mansion, and you want to show off your Pokemon love, but you want to do it in kind of like a mature way, then this statue is perfect. It fits right on like your coffee table or any kind of display, and it's a great talking piece. And at $2,000, you can be like, oh yes, it's fine art. It's Pokemon, but this is where, once again, Pokemon is sort of crossing over into the fine art market. And this just shows like how mature the hobby really is. So I really appreciate, even though I did not purchase one of these statues, that so many people did. What do you guys think of the price? Do you guys think $2,000 for a Pikachu statue is excessive? But then again, they were all sold out within a minute. So who am I to judge? So let me know in the comments. In other news, there is currently a complete PSA 10 first edition base set up on auction right now. Link in the description. That means there are 103 Gem Mint cards in this auction, all from base set, all first edition, all Gem Mint 10. So really, really, really collectible. Almost never see auctions of this caliber. It happens like once every year or two max, and this set is absolutely amazing. You got your first edition Charizard, first edition Blastoise, first edition Venusaur, first edition Chansey, and of course Mewtwo, all being in perfect Gem Mint 10 condition. So absolutely insane set. The Charizard is an easy $30,000 to $40,000 card. Blastoise is another $10,000 card. Venusaur is around $5,000 to $8,000. The Chansey is of course notoriously hard to grade, so another really expensive card, as well as Mewtwo and all the other holographics like Machamp and Hitmonchan and all those ones. And this set is even crazier than that, because if you guys imagine, even the common and uncommons are worth, $400 all the way up to $1,000. Like a first edition like Charmander or something like that is worth $500 or $600. So really insane set. The last time I saw one of these sold was in 2019. An auction had it selling for $105,000. And if you're asking the question, if we're currently in a bubble, then this auction is one to watch. That's why I'm definitely going to link it in the description. It's probably going to screw over my chances of this video becoming popular, because YouTube doesn't like it when you link to other stuff in the descriptions, especially stuff away from YouTube. But that's all right, because you definitely want to watch this auction, because if the hobby is currently very healthy, then I would expect this auction to reach a new record price. The last time I was looking at it, the auction price was around 80,000, and then I checked it again and it was up to 92,000. If this auction makes a new record price for Pokemon cards, then it's going to ripple throughout the hobby. It's going to ripple throughout the hobby because prices for all the other cards start rising as well, because people start realizing, oh my goodness, Pokemon cards are here to stay. People are willing to purchase these for X and X amount of money, and there's so much demand for it. So I'm definitely going to watch this auction. The last price in 2019 was around 105K, and prices have been increasing on the single card. So a complete first edition set, it's going to command a much higher price. Currently, I would value this set at around $120,000 up the way to $150,000. If it breaks past $150,000, then that just really legitimizes how healthy the market is right now. So on to the big question on my thoughts on, are we currently in a Pokemon bubble? And the answer is sort of. It's not going to be a perfect answer, and the reason for that is you don't realize you're in a bubble until it's already passed. Most people don't point out bubbles while they're currently in it. So let's go over what makes a bubble. To help answer that question, I'm going to read to you guys the exact definition of a bubble boom, and I want you guys to think about, does this seem similar to what's currently happening in the Pokemon hobby? Alright, prices rise slowly at first, but then gain momentum as more and more participants enter the market. During this phase, fear of missing out on what could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity spurs speculation, drawing in an increasing number of investors and traders into the fold. So does that sound kind of similar to what's currently happening in the hobby? And the answer is yes, but at the same time, I'm just going to take a step back and say that I don't think we're in a bubble just yet. It's definitely rising, but it's not in that stage yet. And I'm going to explain to you why. The reason is currently the growth in Pokemon is natural growth. This is not growth that is spurred based on purely money. People are invested in the hobby because it's connected to their childhood, it's connected to something intrinsic, it's connected to something that they care about. A lot of people who are buying Pokemon cards right now are not flipping it. They're buying it because they enjoy it, they buy it because they want to hold on to it. The vast majority of Pokemon collectors are not buying a vintage Pokemon card to expect to flip it in the next 3 to 6 months. They're holding on it because they enjoy it, they like it, and they're willing to hold on to it through even the current financial crisis. There was some people dumping some vintage cards onto the market during the crisis, but generally speaking, most people held on to their cards. They enjoy it so much they're not going to sell it at a cheap price, even for, for whatever reason. So I currently think the growth right now we're experiencing is very legitimate growth. It's healthy for the hobby to have this kind of growth. And honestly, these prices probably are well deserved. We have not seen growth in the hobby in the last couple of years. It's kind of been stagnant. There's been a little bit of climb, but overall, the last couple of years, prices has been very stale. There hasn't been any large jump. And now we're sort of experiencing that sort of like all that built up energy coming out all at once. So definitely, I don't think we're currently in a bubble. And I'll give you an example of what is a bubble. So I'm gonna give you guys an example right now. If your next door neighbor, let's say Steve, if your next door neighbor Steve, who's never heard of Pokemon in his life, suddenly started buying Pokemon cards because he hears they're a great investment, we're in a serious bubble right there. So I don't think we're quite there yet where people who aren't into Pokemon are buying Pokemon cards. I think that's the clear sign of a bubble. right now the people who are jumping into the hobbies are naturally interested in it. These are people who have seen Pokemon cards or enjoy Pokemon and wanted to collect something, and there aren't a lot of things that you can collect of Pokemons. There's, you know, like coins and plushies and the cards, and honestly the cards are one of the easiest things to collect if you're into Pokemon, and a lot of people are into Pokemon. It is currently the highest grossing franchise in the world, a wonderful hobby to get into, and I don't think we're quite there in the bubble yet, but I will keep my eyes out. As things progress, we might reach a point where I think, yes, we are definitely in a bubble and prices are due for decline, but we're not quite there yet. I think I'm going to enjoy the growth. I'm still purchasing a lot more Pokemon collectibles, and I hope you guys are as well, and I hope you guys are currently enjoying the hobby as is. To bounce off that question, a lot of people have been asking me, Jake, do you think the hobby is going to continue to grow in the next 5 to 10 years? And I think the answer is a resounding yes. Pokemon cards are here to stay. They're not just going to disappear the next day. At this point, the hobby is sort of in a stage where it's too big to fail. There's too many people vested and enjoying the hobby for it to just disappear. Like if Pokemon cards stop being printed and they just canceled it, the cards that do exist will still grow in value. I strongly believe in that. And not only that, but we have a new generation of Pokemon hobbyists that are entering the hobby. And we're talking about like 5 or 6 year old kids who are currently playing Pokemon Sword and Shield right now. And when they're like 20 or 30, they're gonna want to relive their childhoods, same as we are. So the hobby is growing. There's just more and more people being added. There's just so many people right now that are in that like 10 to 20 year old stage who want to collect Pokemon cards but just don't have the expendable income yet. And in 20 years, when they're full-fledged adults with working income, they're going to want to start snagging up these Pokemon cards. So I think prices are continuing to grow because people are going to continue to join into the hobby. I'm probably going to be collecting Pokemon cards for the next 20 years. I don't see a reason why I would just stop enjoying the hobby, I guess is the way to say it. And I hope you guys sort of feel the same. If you disagree, let me know down in the comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. I read through every single comment. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.